Gail McGee, and I am coming today. I got a new video for you all. It's probably been about 3 weeks, but I do have something I wanted to share with you. I'm going to open up with, we're going to be talking about ministry. So I'm finally ready to talk about ministry again. I hope everyone is well. Hope you had a wonderful Shabbat yesterday. I did. Truly rested and enjoyed myself with my daughter. So I hope you all's was well as mine was. So again, Shabbat Shalom, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to start off, if we can, with prayer, and we're going to go ahead and pray. Open with prayer. Father, in the name of Yeshua, I give you glory, I give you praise, I give you honor. We thank you for the fellowship that we have right here today. I thank you and I acknowledge you even in the teaching. I acknowledge you in the information that's going forth, the revelation that you have given me, that I am able to share with your people, Father. I submit totally to your Ruach HaKodesh. Your kingdom come, your will be done. I acknowledge you. I pray that you bless your people on this day. We submit unto your divine authority. Calls us to be healed in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. And we give you the glory, praise, and honor, Father, in the name of Yeshua. Hallelujah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to share my screen with you all. Those that are new, kind of watch my other videos again. I think you're going to learn some things. We're just kind of picking up off of what I had stopped on. So we're going to be doing ministry today. We're going to be talking about ministries. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, very good. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. And let's see here. I'll slide that on up to the top there. We're ready to go. Here we go. Okay, this of course is my disclaimer. And again, my ministry is timing. Those that don't know me kind of watch my other videos. Just a brief description of what I do. I have a ministry of timing. This is just a grace Most High has given me. It's concerning the timing of events. So I just flow in it. I'm so grateful for the anointing, but that's where I get the ministry name for timing. You can refer to me as Koti. I work and operate out of the ministry of a prophet, the ministry of a prophet, okay? And again, my name is Timing. That's the name I use regarding the ministry. It represents the ministry that I manifest. Last name McGee. And then also, I am, as you would say, according to the Hebraic, Nabiyah. Nabiyah is prophetess. That just denotes my gender in the office of a prophet. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. We have, this is called the Prophet Circle. And this is basically a platform for those that flow in the prophetic, those that are called to the ministry of the gifting of a prophet, that have been called by the Ruach HaKodesh. This is a place that we can share fellowship and also flow in the grace that he's given us and also be able to impart to those that are willing to receive, okay? All right, so this is going to be talking about ministry. This is going to be part one. I'm going to have another part called part two, but this is going to be part one on this one, okay? So I have like a menu board and I have various things. If you watch my first video, you can see I have various things I'm going to be talking about. This one is going to be basically on the ministry. I have several things that I'm going to go through. I'm just waiting on the timing of the Ruach HaKodesh. There's things he has revealed to me that I want to impart and share with you. But again, timing is everything. So I don't just flow out and go out because I feel the need or I want to make a YouTube video. I always try to make sure I wait on his timing and for those things that he wants spoken. So again, we're going to be talking about ministry gifts on this one. Now, I got something to ask you. The shift. You hear a lot of ministries talking about the shift. So my question is, with the shift, are you not doing again what you were doing before the shift? So the shift denotes a change. So we don't want you doing again what you were doing before the shift. Then what is the reasoning for the shift? If you know a shift is taking place in your life and you find yourself doing the very same thing that before and prior to the shift, then what was the purpose of the shift? Why are you, ask yourself, if you know a shift has taken place, or if you know that the Ruach HaKodesh is saying he's ready to shift us, or he's ready to do a shift, you find yourself doing the very same thing prior to the shift or the announcement of a shift taking place. If you find yourself doing the same thing, then ask yourself, why am I still doing this? What was the purpose of the shift if I'm still doing prior to what the shift states? Because in a shift, it is requiring you to change position. Okay, that's what a shift is. It's requiring you to change position, whether it's in the way you think, what you're doing. It's stating it's time to change position. If you're going this way, you need to go another way. If you're thinking this way, you need to do something different. So when that prophetic word, because it comes through the prophetic word, that's how you know it's time to shift. When that prophetic word comes through and you receive it in your own spirit, that the Most High, through his spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh is ministering to you about shifting, you know what he's asked you to do. It may be something that a pattern that you're doing in your life, or it may be something that's going on that's going to cause a shift in parts of your life, okay? But you have received revelation or knowledge of that, and you fully know well what to do, but you choose, because you not flowing in the shift is a choice. So that means you are choosing not to flow. So I'm going to kind of do what I used to do. I'm going to do what I've always done, and I know that's comfortable, but the shift is always going to be a little uncomfortable because it's contrary to what you have always done or the way you thought. So I always ask yourself, if you find yourself doing what you was doing before the shift, ask yourself, why am I doing this again? Is it because I'm doing it out of fear? I don't want to do the change. Or is it because I'm being rebellious because I just want to do me? I'm going to do me. Ask yourself, if the shift has presented itself to you and you have not shifted, you want to ask yourself why, okay? Because there's always a purpose of the shift. Many times shifts prepare us for something that's about to take place. And the Most High, through his Ruach HaKodesh, is positioning us so we can either receive or begin to be in position so we can do, or be in position so we can say. Okay, so there's something that needs to take place, and so that's why he is requiring a shift, which means the position that we were previously in is not going to be conducive to what he is wanting to do. So he is preparing and speaking and telling us it's time to shift our minds. He is doing something different. I'm moving and doing something different, and I need for you to be in alignment in what I'm doing, which means what you were doing, we might not even say it was anything wrong with it, but it's not going to fit in the hour and the time period of where he's going now. So wanted to make sure we talk about the shift. So we're going to talk about ministry. And in ministry, there are two elements that work together. And I'm going to speak more of this on my part 2 of my video. I'm not going to try to make it long. So I'm going to do a part 2. So this is part 1, okay? So here in the ministry, there's always 2 elements that work in the ministry. You're going to always have faith, always, always. And you're always going to have prophetic. You will never go wrong in faith, and you're going to never go wrong in the prophetic. Faith is because that's what pleases him, and you're going to always receive by faith. Prophetic, that's what he's speaking, so you're going to always be able to hear so you can obey. So you're going to never go wrong with those 2. But those 2 elements, we'll talk more about it on my next part 2, is what you're going to flow in, okay? So you have the faith and you have the prophetic, which I said is the 2 main things that you're going to flow in the ministry. And also in the ministry, those 2 elements themselves present ministry. Those 2 elements there defines ministry, makes ministry. Okay, those 2 elements there. Now I did receive a prophetic word, and in the word that I received, This is what the Ruach said. The Ruach HaKodesh is going to clarify ministries in this time period. Okay, he's going to clarify them. He's going to reveal his divine nature through the gifts, and that's Ephesians, the 4th chapter. I do recommend you to please read Ephesians, the 4th chapter. Read the chapter thoroughly, and then also as you read it, be prayerful and allow the Ruach HaKodesh to give you revelation and insight of what he's saying concerning that book in this time period regarding ministry, because you want to receive revelation from him. You want to receive understanding from him, insight from him. So as you read it, be in a prayerful mode. If you have to kind of, however he deals with you to receive, I want you to be there. Always, even through that, be in a worship, state of worship, because I'm telling you, revelation truly flows when you're worshiping him and lifting him up, how he deals with you concerning worship. Always, as you state, you should always be in a worship, prayerful mode at all times, even in your spirit and your ruach. But as you're reading the chapter, just be prayerful and just allow him to just download you wisdom and understanding and revelation concerning it. That's Ephesians, the 4th chapter. Also, 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, which we're going to kind of go into that as I begin to teach a little bit more. I'm going to go into the gifts there. But right now, I wanted to share with you just those two foundations, which is faith in the prophetic and also the prophetic word that he's going to clarify ministries, which is those things he has already given many of us. He's going to give clarity to it, okay? He's going to give where you can actually see it more clearly in purpose of the ministries and the giftings and the callings that he has given each and every one of us. And it's going to reveal his divine nature. That is what's going to be on display. That is what's going to be shown. It's not going to be about us. It's going to be about his divine nature, because his divine nature always flows out through the ministry. His divine nature always flows out through the gifts that he's given us. So we're going to be able to see that. That was a prophetic word. Now, I've said this before. I have to stress it again. Let me move my little picture up a little bit if I can. Okay. Got to stress this again. Whether we're flowing in the gifts, whether we're working the ministry, because the ministry is something that has to be worked. Whether we're working the ministry by the Ruach HaKodesh, there's nothing that's going to be worked or flowed without the Ruach HaKodesh. He is the one that certifies, I have to make sure I say that, certifies for ministry. He is the one that appoints the giftings. He is the one that gives us the giftings. So everything comes from that source, the source of the Ruach, okay? Not on your own. If you're on your own, you're out for failure, okay? But if it's going to be his divine nature working through you with the giftings in the ministry he's called you into, then you're going to be certified for him, which means, again, you're going to go through his school. You're going to go through his training. He is going to equip you. He's doing everything, getting you prepared, preparing you for the task and the assignment that he has called each and every one of us. We all have one. We all have one. But we have to be in contact and in connection with the Ruach HaKodesh, because no ministry or no giftings will work without him, okay? This is why we must spend time, we must be seeking the Most High concerning his spirit, concerning his nature, concerning him, okay? It's just everything is centered around him. So as we begin to seek him, then he'll begin to teach and to do these things inside of us concerning his will and purpose in this work, because it is a work and he uses us. He uses his people, okay? So we're doing ministry. Ministry. You know the purpose of ministry, which again, you're going to find it in Ephesians, the 4th chapter. Again, read it. It's a great chapter regarding the works, okay? Because, you know, when Yeshua left, he told us we were going to do greater work. So this is not something that man has created or the church has created or even the awakening has created. This is something that Yeshua wanted his legacy of moving and doing what he was doing to be carried out by his people, okay? Those that have faith in his name, okay? those that have faith in his name to carry out his ministry. So the ministry, basically, those that even are equipped in the ministry, okay, are there to be teachers, are there to prepare his people for those things that are to come and those things that we need just to even endure, those things that we need to do warfare, okay? So the ministry always prepares. The ministry, of course, equips. Anything you're lacking, anything that you're needing to get the job done, anything you're needing that's required, the ministry equips. It also builds up. The ministry builds you up. We all nurture each other through the ministry. It's like really a knitted hand together as one. And we're building each other up, supplying, as Paul said, Shaul in the book of Ephesians, the 4th chapter, every joint supplying that which is needed. So there should not be a lacking, even in the spirit or even in the natural. That's the area that the Most High is taking us in now. There should not be any lacking, okay? So it builds up. Make sure my computer is where I need to be here. Sorry. All right. It works it. So the ministry also collectively works it. It works the plan, the purpose of the Most High Yah, okay? By Yeshua, because this is his baby. Ministry is his baby, okay? This is his baby. And it also perfects and completes the saints. It completes, perfects, makes you whole so that you will not be lacking anything. All of this is the work, and he has already designed all this to work within itself. Just like the body works within itself. It can actually literally heal itself. So he is stating that the working of the ministry collectively will complete, make whole the whole body, his people. The ministry will need the prophetic. There's no way that it's going to work without it. You want to know why? Why you talk about the prophetic? Well, you know, this is the prophet circle. So this is my area of ministry. So I'm going to be talking about this quite a bit, okay? So why do I say it needs the prophetic? Because you need to hear. You need to hear how to move, what you need to do, what you need to get. So you're going to need to hear, to discern, to know, and what he is saying, because that prophetic word is his word. It is his leading. It's his instruction. So you're going to need the prophetic in the preparation, in the equipping, in the building up, how it's going to work, and also the complete and perfecting of the body. So you're going to need the prophetic. If you do not have the prophetic flowing in your assemblies, that's a check. That's a bad check, because it has to. That may be why you're dry. That's why it may be why you're not progressing, because it's a progressive grace. It is a progressive grace. And if you do not acknowledge that grace, and even the office and grace of a prophet, that is a ministry. They carry that prophetic also, because if you don't acknowledge it, you're going to have some issues. You're not going to progress when the word is spoken, because you know the Most High flows in the prophetic. So you don't have to actually be, as we've already talked about in my other videos, a prophet, but that prophetic voice will flow. He can speak through whoever he wants to, and he ain't got to get nobody's permission, because he do what he want to do. So if he is speaking prophetically through someone and you're not heeding to it, you are in a dry place. You are not going to progress. You're not going to be prepared. You're not going to be equipped. You're not going to be ready to be built up, because you're not receiving any flow. You know, you're not being watered. The prophetic voice waters you. It gives you the timing. And I hear the Most High saying it gives you the timing of increase. You won't know anything. You going on human knowledge, it's not going to cut it here, not in this time period. You're going to need the prophetic, okay? Again, everything's in Ephesians 4. Read it, study it, pray, and let the Most High deal with you concerning that. Okay, so now I want to speak about Yeshua. Yeshua gives the ministries. Again, all of this is in Ephesians. specifically Ephesians 4:7. When you read that, you'll read where he first ascended, he first descended, and then the same that descended, ascended. And then when he did that, talking about Yeshua, he gave gifts. He is the one that provides the gifts in the ministries. It is Yeshua. So that's why I said he gives the ministries. You can't even flow without him in the ministry. You're not flowing without any gifts without him, because he is the one. I'm telling you, when it is time for ministry, because it's the giftings first, and we're going to talk about that in Corinthians, First Corinthians. But when it's time for ministry to flow, listen to me. I'm going to tell you something right here. You will have a manifestation with Yeshua. Yeshua is the one that gives you the ministry. Do I know what I'm talking about? Read your scriptures. When Paul was on his way to Damascus with railing accusations against the people, he had a manifestation of Yeshua. From that point, his ministry began to take off. So when it's time for ministry to go forth in your life, you are going to have a revelation of Yeshua, because he is the one that gives you the ministry. He's the one that provides the ministry for you. It's a work. Remember, you are continuing his work that he did when he walked amongst the people. When he walked amongst the people, he performed ministry. He performed signs, wonders, miracles. He did the work that was given to him by the Father. So now he said, I've left, but I have not left you comfortless. I am sending a helper, a comforter. He is going to work through you. Okay? He is going to endow you with power and authority to continue the work that I physically am not doing on the earth, but you are. It's me in you doing it. So he's continuing. So he knows the ministry he's given us. He knows the qualifications. He knows everything to get us equipped to carry out his work. So that's what we're really doing. The ministry carries out the work of Yeshua when he was on earth, and it's being carried out by the Ruach HaKodesh. That's why Yeshua said he will send him. He will send him. So he does the work through us. Okay? It's the same work. Plus, Yeshua said we will do greater works than what he did. So that is where it stems from. Again, Yeshua gives the ministry. This was prophesied also by David concerning Mashiach. The very same scripture, you all look this up. This in Ephesians 4:7. You'll find that very same scripture in Psalms 68:18. Look it up. Same verbiage about the gifts. And he was talking about, David was prophesying about Yeshua. Same verbiage. So we know that he is the author of the ministry. He starts the ministry. Ministry comes from him. He, Yeshua, also gave gifts. Again, this is Ephesians. Gave gifts to men. That's Ephesians 4:8. Again, the word men, it comes from anthropos, and it's a Greek word. It's not gender related. It's human beings. So it's not specific gender related. Okay? And you can find it also if you do a word study. You can find it in Strong's G444. Okay? It's the same word men that's found in Luke 18:27, when Yeshua said, the things which are impossible with men, which is the same verbiage found in Ephesians 4, when it says he gave gifts to men. Yeshua saying, this is possible with Yah. Same verbiage, which means he's not talking about just men gender, that these things will be impossible with men gender, but he's speaking of men, human being, mankind. So it's the same verbiage in Ephesians 4:8. So the gifts, the ministries are not gender related when he said he gave gifts unto men. Now, when you do a word search, they are in masculine form, which is the ministry as a whole, but they're not given just to gender related, because again, men that's listed here is the same men that Yeshua referred to when he was saying that with man, these things are impossible. But with Yah, all things are possible. He was saying the same verbiage. So we know that, of course, let me use an example. The ministry of prophet, okay, that same ministry was used in the Torah. It was used in the books of the Judges. They had prophets back then, prophetess, but that was relating to a gender of a ministry or a grace that the Most High placed upon a particular individual to carry out that particular ministry or work. Okay, so the ministry itself doesn't denote gender, but it just denotes the work. It denotes a work. Okay, so he can use whoever he wants. He can use our young people, our children. Okay, most of the prophets that were in the scriptures, they were used when they were little. They knew they had a calling on their life. They knew they had purpose. Okay, and they were children, but the Most High used them, raised them up. He raised them up. Jeremiah raised them up. Okay, Joseph raised them up. So as we are as parents, we got to really make sure we're in tune with the Ruach HaKodesh so he can show us the giftings and the callings on our children's life. Listen, he will tell us. He'll tell us what they're carrying. He will let us know. He will let us know. I'm telling you, he will let us know. And those that have children that flow in the prophetic with dreams and visions, it's very, very important that you nurture that. Very important. And they need to be around someone that is prophetic or is a prophet. A reason why I say that, because they will understand them. They will understand them. So if you as a parent don't flow like that, just ask the Most High to grace you with wisdom how to handle and deal with your child so that you'll know how to flow with them and how to teach them and train and raise them up. Because this is very important, that is needed. And for those of us that are not near children or young teenagers or young adults that are coming up like that, let's pray for them. Let's pray that the Most High equip them with what they need and give them the know-how, the instructions, the wisdom, the insight that they know so that they can flow in those giftings when it's time for those things to be released for them. We have to cover them. We have to allow them to go forth. So that's so very important. Okay. Now, Yeshua also said, and Yeshua, gave some. Now, he's going to list the different gifts and ministries. He gave some, and I always thought that word was okay. He gave some this and some that. So I kind of did a word study on that. And that word some from the Greek, okay, that word some doesn't mean like he gave a quantity. It means indeed, certainly, and surely. So it basically says, and he, Yeshua, certainly or indeed or surely gave, okay, which is a positive, not a quantity, but a surely, he certainly gave, okay, that's what that is. He gave some apostles, or it's pronounced apostolos, and that word means to send out. That word means to send out. So I know there are some that don't believe there are apostles today. Okay, I got it. We're talking about ministry here. We're talking about a grace that the Most High has given certain individuals to do certain things, a work. So we're going to see how he deals with that in this season, okay? Because in this season, even those that carry a grace that are being sent out, we're going to see what Yeshua says about that. We'll let him decipher through what grace and giftings he's given whoever. Okay, let's let him do that. Okay, I will be very careful in our teaching. However we believe it, let's be prayerful and let's let him discern that for us. Because remember, those giftings and callings are those things he give out. Okay, now we may lack understanding in some things, but then that's why we are before him in prayer. And that's how we're seeking him so he can give understanding. But that particular ministry is for those that are sent out. That means he's sending you out, sending you away. He's giving you an assignment. He's giving you ministry task. Paul had that. Paul had a specific task to a certain group of people. Okay. Now in the awakening, they're saying that is the Israel. Okay. those that had strayed away. So they're saying he had a certain task for that. Okay. But the point I'm trying to make is that he was sent to a particular group of people for a specific assignment. So when you are sent or given a specific task or work, the Most High gives that to you specifically. He'll equip you for that. That is going to be your area of ministry. You're going to be strong in that area. You're going to talk about that area a lot. You're going to flow in that area. There's going to be a grace for you there. There's going to be faith for you there. You're going to be able to stand in that area, and you're going to see manifestation, because that is a strong area for you. He's made you for that. So that thing to you will be natural when you flow in it. Others may think that thing is so great and so hard, or how are you doing that? But it's going to be natural for you because he's made you for that assignment. So you're going to flow naturally there. Okay. And then he also gave the ministry of prophets. We already talked about that. And it's called prophetess. This is just the Greek breaking it down for us. And that means to speak, or a person that's a speaker that's inspired, and they speak in prior or before, which means they're speaking, and we would say prophesying. They're speaking beforehand. They're speaking prior to something manifesting, or they're speaking something into existence. So that's what a prophet, the nature of that ministry, does. Okay, you can find that again, your Strongs, just check it out. G433, G4396, G4253, G5346. So just kind of read my screen. These are some of the studyings that I did. Again, with everything, be prayerful, seek the Most High, let him give you understanding, and he will, I promise you, he will give us all understanding. So we will make sure we're on point. Okay, he wants us to know. He wants us to know his divine nature as he flows and moves through us concerning these giftings and anointing. The other one is the evangelist. We speak that in English, and it's Evangelistes, and I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly. Please forgive me. And that's speaking according to the Greek, preacher of the gospel. Now, I've gotten some personal revelation regarding the evangelist. The Lord, the Most High, gave me some revelations regarding the evangelist in this time and period that we're flowing in. And we know Philip was one. And what I received is very much definitely in line with the scriptures about how they will be able to do supernatural manifestation. And it's all for the drawing in of the people. When someone carries that ministry, it's always for the edifying and drawing you into Yeshua, to introduce you into him. So that gifting, that ministry flows with signs. Okay. And its purpose again is to draw you in so that you can have and to know Yeshua HaMashiach. Okay. Okay. And then the next one, of course, is the pastor, which is one of the giftings that many claim and flow in. We probably got more of them than we got any. And I'm not saying it in any kind of demeaning way, but it's just that we have a lot of people that are flowing or going into that gift of pastor, which is shepherd. And you can see that in Strong G4166. So you can take a look at that. But that is another one of the gifts that Yeshua has given to his people for the edifying and the building up. Also teachers, that's another gift that we got a lot of folks flowing in that. They flowing in the teacher, they flowing in it. They saying that's who they are. And so, hey, we're going to let him decipher all that, and he about to do it all for us. He going to put everything line upon line and precept upon precept, so we'll know exactly what he's called us to, what we carry, what we're to do. He's going to define all of that for us. But these giftings are real. They flow today. All 5 of them flow today. He has not cut off anything. Let's make sure we're checking with him to see, before we denounce anything, make sure, did he say I ain't flowing that way? Did he say I'm not revealing my nature in that particular area? Make sure we hear that. Make sure we get that understanding. Is that for just a particular period, Yeshua, that you minister, you gave that ministry? Does that ministry no longer exist, Father? Is it going on still right now? Is Yeshua still ministering or revealing himself through these manifestations of these gifts he said he gave us? Or did he stop one? Or did he stop another one? Or is it a certain specific qualification now that we're adding to it that he didn't say anything about, or maybe he did say something about it and we just didn't get it. So let him do that for us. Okay. Personally, I think that I've seen these giftings and I believe he can do what he want to do, especially in these days and hours that we're in now. I'm going to let him do what he want to do. I'm going to let him have the last word because it's him manifesting. It's not us. It's not you. It's not me. So who's really manifesting? Is it him? Then let him do him. If it's us, then yeah, we can say something. But we need to determine who's doing the manifestation. If it's him doing it, let him do him. Okay? Now, as I stated, I'm going to go into my part 2. I'm going to go into more detail about the ministry of faith and the prophetic. And like I said, those two ministries are the foundation. Those two gifts are the foundation for ministry. They flow together. And I use the example of a wedding, the two wedding bands. They need each other. They really do need each other. And I'm going to break down in part 2 how that is, how it flows. And I'm going to show you just how Yeshua showed me. I know this to be evident because as I even through my life, I've seen it over and over and over and over. It repeats itself. It duplicates itself. And I know that it's the Most High showing me and confirming how these two gifts work together. So we'll talk more about that in part 2. Okay, so I always have a little spot on my YouTube regarding any prophetic insight that I've gotten. And I do want to share when I do get it. I, of course, wait for the Ruach HaKodesh to tell me when. And so this is a word from the prophet, ministry, okay? As I minister in that office, I'm speaking of the ministry. Yes, I'm a female, you can tell that. So yes, you can call me a prophetess, but I always refer to the ministry. I always refer to the ministry because that's what flows, and I flow out of that ministry, okay? So the word that I got, this is what I got the other day. As I already told you, the Ruach HaKodesh will be clarifying. He will make plain and clear ministries in this time period. And these are things that you have always known. Maybe you didn't know the full scope of it, but you kind of had an idea that he was using you, or maybe he's giving you insight or a vision about something that may have been a little vague. And at that time, you didn't see it clearly, but you kind of knew he had his hand on your life or something, but you couldn't really put your hand on it. You knew his hand was on your life, but you couldn't put your hand on to figure out how it was going to work. Well, in this time period, be encouraged because he is going to bring clarity. He's going to make it plain. Those things that you are needing to cause you to walk and move in that grace and perform that work, he is about to give it to you because it's time. You understand me? This is going to be the maturity of his people. We are going to see the maturity of his people right now, okay? And that which it's almost like a coming of age where you're going to begin to see those things that he has put in you and trained you in. He is now saying, okay, now those missing elements that you didn't have to make this thing work, I am going to provide it in this season. He also let me know that resources are going to be provided in large numbers. He told me that. Resources provided in large numbers. So we're going to see, based on the ministry, the work, the tasks that you need, whether it's people, finances, whatever, he is going to bring these things to us. And he said in large numbers. So I just wanted to share those two things that I got. I wanted to make sure that you all receive those. And this thing right here, let me tell y'all, as I was in my prayer time and worship at home, and as I was going forth, I could hear in my spirit, and I was decreeing this. Manifest your glory, Father. Manifest your glory. And my Ruach kept on speaking and decreeing that. Manifest your glory, Father. Manifest your glory. And I knew that that is what he wanted to decree. That's what he wants to do in this time period. So just to give that to you, and if you're led when you're going forth in your prayer, in your worship, begin to decree that. You will be in unison with each and every one of us that are already doing it. But this is what he's doing. He is going to manifest his glory. So let us decree that in our worship and in our prayer time. Manifest your glory, Father. Manifest your glory. Because he is wanting to do this now. And this is what we're about to see. So I just wanted to share that with you, what I got personally, and it was just coming up out of my ruach. I kept decreeing it. It was feeling real, real wonderful just to let him know we are anticipating him to manifest his glory. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to do it again on my other video for those that didn't catch this one. So if you got any questions, this is what you need to do if you got any. Am I saying I got all the answers? Nada. But that which I do have, I'm going to share it with you. That what I don't, I will say, you know what, we'll pray about that. I'll pray with you with that so we can get an answer from the Most High, and the Ruach HaKodesh is going to answer. So anything that I've talked about, if you need more clarification or anything, please reach out to me. I have an email address. It's called theprophetcircle@gmail.com. Again, theprophetcircle@gmail.com. And I'll be more than glad to answer your questions the best I can. I'll be prayerful before I respond. Always prayerful because I got to hear him. I got to know what he's saying. So I'm going to come back in just a minute with part 2. And that's going to be the continuation of the ministry coming from out of Ephesians, the 4th chapter. Didn't want to make this video long. So I'm going to do a part 2. So look for that. Again, family, love you. Appreciate you all. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I know you could be doing something else. I just want to just share those things that I have. He has given me quite a bit, and I have waited patiently for the time to share. So he's giving me space, and again, as he gives it to me, I want to release it to you. And I'm good with it. I love it because I know, and I just want you to know too. I don't want you to be lacking either. So I'll see you in the next video, okay? All right. Full screen. All right, I'm going to just go on and shut it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Shalom, family. All right, so. Meeting.